Assalamu alaikum. I am Aisha Abdur Rahim. I am currently doing my MPhil in Media Studies from Kinnaird College. This website of mine deals with the suicide bombings in Pakistan, and for that we have a very well-renowned journalist, anchor, analyst of Pakistan with us, Mr. PJ Mir. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you? So when you hear of the word suicide attack, what comes to your mind?
Suicide, the very first time one actually even thought about it was in the Second World War, when the Japanese used it in Pearl Harbor, and it was known as harakiri. And then we had this advent of suicide attacks in Gaza, in Palestine, with the Israelis. And then all of a sudden, we started seeing this here. Even though in the 1965 war, we had soldiers who committed suicide, but that was shahadat. That was a different thing. They laid their lives in the name of the state, in the name of God, because they were fighting an enemy. But here, I think the word suicide is not something which is allowed in Islam at all, and it is basically as what we call haram. It is also seen as a very negative attitude in countering difficulties, in countering issues, and rather than confronting problems.
What do you think? Why did its need occur?
Because number one, they're uneducated. They're led into this trap that if you commit suicide, like we see these bombers and other people, that you will be looked after in the hereafter, which is a wrong sort of a phenomena, and because it's a lack of knowledge as far as religion is concerned, it's ignorance, and of course it is taking people on the wrong path.
Did you get affected in any way after the 9/11 attacks?
Yes, I did. I mean, 9/11, although there are a lot of fingers, which are pointed towards this part of the world, but no one has clearly pointed out who's been responsible. Even though we hear in the Americas that the problem actually lay there rather than with us, and these attacks which have taken place, as I said earlier on, it is basically a misinterpretation of a religion, and particularly of Islam. No religion allows you to commit suicides in these manners, where you hurt innocent people, innocent children, men, women, and all sorts. So I think, yes, of course, it is traumatic. It is very, very, very hurtful.
What methods can be opted to help stop suicide bombing in the country?
Very good question. The methods which need to be taken up is to educate people. Unfortunately, Arabic is not our language. Our language is a local dialect. We have Punjabi, Pashto, Balochi, Urdu, and Sindhi, and Gilgit-Baltistani, and all that. Arabic is for the Arabians. We have got this religion from Arabia, which came into Arabic. Now, what happens is we read the Quran, but we don't understand and follow the Quran. Now, in the words of Khalil Gibran, wisdom is not in words, it is the meaning within words. So as long as you understand, no matter what you read, whether it is religion, whether it is a book or any other knowledge, as long as you don't understand that, you will not be able to implement anything. So I think, to your question, unless and until people do not follow the correct tenets and the correct followings and teachings of the Holy Prophet, and of course the Quran and the Almighty, we will not be achieving anything else.
That's a fabulous answer. To what extent, according to you, is US responsible for creating terror or suicide bombing in our country?
US has always been very good in trying to put the blame on others for their failed foreign policies. They've always done it. Obama failed, look at Afghanistan, and he put it on somebody else. He used people like Hussein Haqqani and so many others, on the lobby circuit to propagate basically the goodness of the American regime, when in effect it wasn't. So I think here what we need to see is that we have to take Americans with a pinch of salt. Sometimes we say Americans are our friends, but no, they're not our friends. They have interests. and nobody's anybody's friends. We all have interests. Even China today, we speak of friendship. No, it is interest. They sell us, we buy it. We afford them. We're a client state. So it is all interest generated, sort of lives around here.
Why is it so that during the PPP government, we Pakistanis got to experience a lot of suicide attacks, but since Sharif Bradran, they've taken over, there is much peace in the country?
PPP basically has always been an anti-establishment force, where in contrast the Pakistan Muslim League, whether it is Nawaz, Junaid, or you go up to any alphabet, they've always been an establishment party. And as you can see, the military courts, how much of a problem it was, although now everybody's agreed and been on the same page. But during the PPP's regime, as you said, yes, there were a lot of attacks because people were defocused. They didn't know how to deal with it. They were working on ad hocism, which was a short-term sort of phenomena. And today, I think PMLN has done the right thing by at least realizing and accepting between the lines the courts have failed. The judicial system has failed, hence you need the military sort of a presence as far as military courts are concerned. So yes, I think they've done a tremendous job.
Ever got a chance to meet a suicide bomber?
I haven't, but I know some people. There were 3 people who actually were going on their normal everyday sort of an errand, and all of a sudden they had this boy come inside, and he showed them the jacket, and they were scared. And eventually, what had happened was that one of the generals died. He was a medical man in Rawalpindi, and he told these 3 people to drive the car, but by some coincidence or I don't know what, the car didn't stop, and the boy went out, ran towards the general, and he was a medical corps general, very famous man, and he died. And it could have been those 3 boys who could have died. So, well, you see and hear lots of stories, but I haven't experienced it myself, and thank God I don't.
Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely meeting you.
Pleasure.